Good evening, September 25th, 2022. And it's a rainy evening here in the camper. I just visiting the camper today and take a little nap. Just woke up. I had some cool dream. Cool dream. I'm not going to bore you with details about it, but it was about, I was asked something. I go, well, justice and equity are so important to me. And it doesn't matter your walk of life or who you're from. I guess I take a very secular American view to most things because that's what I am, a secular American. Um, Not that I don't have faith or believe in a God. It just, we're a land of laws. And that's the way I look at it. But these, as in a field, a beautiful field like I grew up with. And these creatures ask me, well, what's important to you? I go, well, justice and equity are very important. And I'm going on about it as I always do about striving for, doing the right thing, blah, 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 blah. So I wake up and have a, little drinky poo and I'm getting ready to go home. And then I started listening to some of the feeds online about the Russia situation. This is bad. They're mobilizing probably millions of guys and gals, and we only know a little bit of the truth because you got to take everything with a little grain of salt. However, a few of the guys and gals I really trust their information. Sometimes I double check and they're on spot. So we have a situation where this war in Ukraine is going to escalate, and now I'm biased because my partner is Ukrainian, and I make no bones about it. And I love my Yuki, and I just want to say that I believe in our American way, and I believe in people. I believe in animals probably more, but I do believe in people. But we need a plan. We need a plan, and we need to make sure everyone involved in this has a plan. And the one thing I want to bring up that no one's bringing up is what to do with Russian prisoners of war. You know what? I'm tired of this cruelty of just going to shoot all the prisoners. And, I understand their country's been invaded. But our nation did part of the pre-Marshall Plan was we treated the German prisoners of war well. We, didn't baby them, but we weren't cruel. There was a justice system within it. My grandparents had German prisoners of war working on the farms during World War II. And many were offered to stay after the war, and many did. There were situations where, there were a lot of German Americans that had their relatives that were POWs. And there wasn't much left of Germany to go back to. And many great Americans, that had wonderful families stayed. My point being is we have to pressure the Ukrainians that all these new conscripted Russian soldiers, they don't want to be there. A lot of them are my age. A guy my age with my problems being a soldier? Really? That's just like just shooting hams at the firing range. So we have to offer these soldiers a way. And that would be justice and equity. I'm not saying they're not a soldier and it's not a war. What I'm saying is we have to be the better people. We, you and me, and we have to pressure Ukraine and everyone involved to do what's right. We have to lead the way. And the only way to be a leader is to do the right thing and be the leaders and the moral leader on this. Morality is not what you're doing with another adult that's consensual. Morality is how you conduct your business with society. That's the morality of it all. And ethics. And I'm not going to go down this slope with you because a lot of you will disagree. I mean, I'm a big gay guy. Oh, you're going to burn him at a stake. Well, probably I'm a witch too. Good luck. Good luck getting me to that stake, though, because I got a gun, too. My point being is we have to pressure Ukraine to set up a system because there's going to be all of these soldiers who don't want to be there. They're not ashamed to be Russian, but they're ashamed of Putin. Take that to our advantage. Let us, you and me, show the Russian people what love is. Because the Russian people have never gotten a lot of love from their leaders. Stalin killed 50 million of them, blah, 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 blah. I'll go on and on. You know, were they better off under the czars? I don't know. They've had a very tough history, and the Russians like these tough, oligarchy type guys. And we have to bring in the oligarchs too. Now, I'm not hating you guys because you're rich, but you let your nation go to hell. You lost everything. I'm sorry. You lost it. So, these Russian soldiers, men and women, no rape, no murder. If they wave that white flag and say, I give up, I just give up, I give up, give them a pathway to earn their freedom after the war. We can always use workers. We can always use new citizens in America of good, good descent and of good morals. You know, I don't expect the Russians to love me. I don't expect anyone to love me. But I expect our nation to be a leader on this. And I want everyone to think about this. My grandmother spoke very fondly of many of the prisoners of war. They weren't all Germans, but most of them were Germans. Of course, her last name was Molter, and that's a German name. So, but I doubt there was bias on that one. But the most important thing is we as a nation took a plan, and then we implemented the Marshall Plan and rebuilt Europe. And that was probably, and then the same thing with Japan. We rebuilt Japan. And there's a great history there with both Europe and Japan and Asia on these lines. So I expect you to do your legwork, learn your history, not just a 15-minute soundbite, but go read a book, take a history class, and learn. We must learn from our history. If we are decide, if we, excuse me, sorry, a lung thing. If we are going to survive as mankind is going to survive into the next millennium, we're going to have to learn from the past mistakes, and we're going to have to deal with the ecological damage that we've just made, and the coming problems from above. So, take that as, I guess you could take that as scripture if you want. Y'all have a good night. You remember equity and justice. We have to be the leaders on this, and we have to pressure them. With all that money we're throwing over there, I think we can have our way on this. And also, a little social engineering for the Ukrainians themselves. They're not the smoothest people in the world either. Anyway, y'all have a good evening. Good night. Remember, justice and equity.